this one. Hello, everyone. We're back with more chess lessons featuring benjyfishy. Today's lesson has been named VOD Reviewing Benjy's Piece Control. Yeah, I think it's pretty good. For some reason, people cannot hear your sound. That's very strange. Yeah, on my stream, your sound isn't going through. I've never had this problem before. Like the desktop audio isn't moving at all. I'm pretty sure it is. I mean, I can hear you, no problem.
If they can't hear me, they probably can't hear any.
Yeah, I fixed it now.
Uh,
I don't know what
got
was wrong. Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
But they missed your reaction to my title. I feel so cheated. He laughed. He thought it was funny, chat.
Good title.
I'm a very good, funny guy. Okay, so today we're gonna be, as the title says, VOD reviewing some games that Benjy has played and that he took very, very seriously. First up is this black game against Salim.
I do remember this game.
Yeah, so we're gonna flip the board and take a look at this. You're facing the king pawn opening very often.
Yeah.
How are you feeling about your French defense?
I think it's okay. I think that I can definitely improve on it, but I think
Really?
I
Just
still
okay?
I mean, there's some situations where I don't know what to do sometimes, but I think like in the exchange variation and most other things, I think it's pretty good.
Yeah, well, my impression is that you're getting almost a winning position every time.
Am I? Okay, that's good then.
I think it's been working brilliantly.
Yeah, I've been doing pretty good of it. Just
So
sometimes I don't know what to do.
yeah, let's take a look at what happened. Okay, so he played e5, which is a weird move.
Yeah.
But what you did is fine. You're just following your plan of occupying the center with your pawn.
Yep.
And then c5, also putting pressure in towards the middle. So far, so good.
Mm-hmm.
But
And then yeah, I know what I should have done here. I remember doing a move and then realizing I should have done something else.
okay,
Or like
and what should you have done?
right here, I should be putting as much pressure on the d4 pawn.
And how would you do that?
So I'd bring my knight to b6, and then if he protects
c6?
it, or c6, yeah, c6, and then I'd bring my queen to b6.
Yeah.
And I think that's all I can do really.
Yeah.
And yeah.
So what you did in the game was that you took on d4,
Yeah.
and then
I
you
remember
played
this.
knight c6.
Mm.
And one of the key differences here is that when he played his bishop out, putting pressure on your knight by pinning it to your king, here, if you had followed up with queen b6,
Oh.
he
That
would
be
have
good.
been able to defend the bishop with knight c3.
Oh. Yeah.
So because you captured early in the middle, you gave him an extra opportunity to free up the c3 square for his knight.
Mm. I see that.
So, if possible, avoid capturing here first. And, well, let's just say I usually go with a queen. So then there's no bishop coming here no matter what.
Okay.
But you can also go with your knight, which is more in line with, opening principles. Don't get your queen out too early. And in that case, if he went out with his bishop, then you would comfortably be able to use the queen to attack the bishop, and he doesn't have a nice way of defending that guy.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, taking on d4 early, a minor inaccuracy.
Okay. Yeah, I do remember doing this and thinking I should have put more pressure on it. So I'm just taking. I just forgot what to do.
Yeah. Okay, and then you went out with the knight. That's good. He came out with his bishop, and now you remembered this idea of knight h6.
Yeah.
I like the fact that you remembered the plan, but I would have liked to see you using your queen first to put pressure.
Okay.
So like queen out, he gets his knight out, and then you could do this.
Okay.
It's pretty much the same thing. I'm just reiterating this queen b6 thing because that's kind of our standard plan, getting these two pieces to attack against the middle.
Okay.
Okay, so you went knight h6, and then he captured your knight, which makes no sense because that your knight wasn't really doing anything anyway because his bishop was pointing against your king.
Yeah. It was without getting provoked.
Yes.
Yeah.
Unprovoked loss of bishop, we're not a fan.
Yeah.
And you took back with your pawn, and then you used that pawn to put additional pressure on the center.
Yeah, I thought this was pretty. That was pretty nice.
Yeah, that was excellent. And he castled, and now putting more pressure against this d4 pawn with the pieces you have in this situation.
Yeah.
Very good. And so he went with the queen to give a check, and you blocked with your bishop, forcing his queen to move again.
Mm-hmm.
Good move. Queen goes back, and then you develop your bishop, getting ready to castle.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, so far, excellent. So far, the biggest mistake you made was capturing early on d4.
Yeah.
And since then, you've done a great job of getting your pieces into play.
Okay. Do you think I should have brought my queen out to b6 before I castled?
No.
Okay.
I think bringing the queen out to b6, I think it becomes a much worse move. Sorry. I think it becomes much worse once white has this easy way to defend with the knight.
Okay.
Because then in the future, there's like a probability that white will somehow get the knight to a4 and keep kind of kicking your queen around.
Yeah.
So like we really don't want to allow this knight to get to this square. Because there's no need for it, right? This pawn is just in the way of its own knight.
Yeah. So it's kind of like forcing him into like a disadvantage with this. Like if he tries to protect it with his pawn.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, he kind of has to use his pawn because he has to create that pawn chain.
Yeah.
To defend each other. But at the same time, that means the pawn is taking away one of the squares the knight would have liked to use. And you kind of just free that up for him. But here you were doing great, and then he played bishop g5.
Can't remember what I did.
Okay.
Yeah, just castled.
But if you get a new opportunity, given this position, what would you play?
I think I'll just castle.
Okay, then I would be very unhappy with you.
Oh. Why would you be unhappy? Let me think.
Underbunne, thank
I
you
don't
so
know.
much for the 17-month resub.
I'm not too sure. I mean,
Honestly,
I,
I don't know why
like,
the
if you take my
alert
bishop,
box
it's like,
wasn't making any noise.
oh, but then it. Oh, I should. The thing is, right, if he takes my bishop, then he can take my c5 pawn. Um, hmm. Maybe just block with f6.
Okay.
I think I'll do that.
We're gonna have to make this a puzzle kind of thing.
Puzzle.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there like one good move?
Yes.
Okay. So it's not. Can you confirm it's not taken in the middle, right? Because if I take, then he has two things there. I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I've got this and this, so it's not really getting anything. Oh no! That is good. That is good. Wait. So okay, so I take, take, take,
Okay.
and I'm off a bishop.
Yes. But in that variation, if we back up a couple of moves,
Okay.
I'm gonna back up. I'm gonna play this move.
Uh, take,
And then I take.
take.
And then I take.
Okay.
What's the material?
Equal.
Yeah.
Hmm. I mean, that's not too bad.
No, it's not too bad. I agree. But will you agree with me that you have two guys here
Oh, I could have. Oh, I
pointing
remember.
against
Oh,
this guy?
yeah. I remember looking at the the analysis thing, and it said for me to take, and then I realized I had two things. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't really know. I don't know what's going on your end, but if you are clicking on the queen to check her where she can go
Nah,
and it
no,
doesn't
no.
tell you that she can go take the bishop, then we need to stop your clicking.
I think no. I think I was just focused on castling. I think. I don't know.
Okay. But here's what happened in the game. You took this one
Oh.
and then he took it back.
Oh no. Did I castle?
And instead of capturing this guy for free,
Oh
you were
no.
so obsessed with that you could get a free pawn in the center.
uh,
So you saw one good trade, but you missed out on an even
no,
better one.
I remember seeing it now. I remember seeing it now. Like at this point, after I had already taken, I saw that it was like free.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Well,
remember.
we're still working on you being able to see that it's free
Mm,
before you do something else.
yeah.
And you know what I'm gonna say, right?
Puzzles.
Puzzles. We gotta keep on grinding them puzzles, to make sure you can, like, your chess vision just becomes automatic. It becomes a part of you.
Yeah.
You just see every piece that can be captured.
Hmm.
So yeah, but you still captured a pawn in the middle. So
Yeah.
so you still have a winning position here. And then he went with the queen.
Yeah.
And once again, there's a free knight, but sometimes there's a better trade.
Yeah.
And here that better trade is the queen, and you saw that.
Thankfully.
Yeah. So here you're up a queen,
Uh.
and life is good.
Mm.
Um, Let me just see if I have. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
trying to trick him, and you're succeeding.
Yeah.
Um, so I mean, I've seen you sometimes mess up some huge advantages.
Oh, this is a misclick. But
Oh
yeah.
yeah, yeah. I was wondering about that move.
Yeah, it's a misclick.
Yeah, because I would have wanted you to go here with a double attack.
Mm. That'd be good.
But yeah, misclick, that makes sense.
I thought I did pretty good here. I kind of just like trapped them both, and they both couldn't really move.
Yeah. But here you played like g5.
Yeah, I kind of wanted. I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking. I wanted to move my pawns. I wanted to get
Yeah.
them out like towards the king.
Well, here's the thing, right? So you have this file where you don't have any of your own pawns, and you
Mm.
have a bunch of rooks.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking move a rook over here and take that one.
Yeah, that'd be a good move.
Yeah. So like I- I'm not sure why you wanted to move the pawns. I'm guessing you wanted to get your rooks into the game somehow.
I'm pretty
But
sure that's what I did. Pretty
yeah,
sure I did get my rook in.
yes, you did. But
Yeah.
there was an avenue for the rook already available.
Mm. I remember why. It's because I wanted to get this knight to move, so then
Yeah,
I could take the rook
yeah.
for free.
But then, in that case, it makes more sense to play this move.
Mm.
Just challenging this guy.
Yeah.
And once you challenge a guy like that, it means that your rook just enters the game.
Yeah.
Which is kind of what you did later, because then you played f5. Not really sure how that happened. Once again, moving one step forward puts pressure on the opponent's pawn.
Mm.
And by making that pressure, you guarantee that your pawn is going to have the option of, well, basically moving away,
Yeah.
which means then you can get your rook into the game.
Yeah.
So f5, you did get your rook into the game, but because he kind of volunteered you to do so.
Yeah.
But you had a plan of pressuring this knight so that you can capture this rook, and the
Mhm.
plan was good. The execution was just a bit iffy.
Yeah. Could have done it better.
Um, so let's move on to the next game.
Okay. How many games are there?
As many as we can do, but
Okay.
I have 6 games on my list here.
Right. Nice.
We're probably not gonna have time for all of them, but we'll do a couple.
Yeah. Do I just stay in the same live?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just have to copy this thing and then go back to this board and then do this one or this one. Okay, we got it.
Yeah.
Here you have the black pieces again.
Hmm.
Once again facing the king pawn opening. Yeah, I can hear the echo as well, guys, but I think it's fine.
Is it through my mic?
Yeah.
Oh wait, I can hold on. I can maybe fix it. Hopefully that's better. Tell me if just
We'll
hope
find
that's
out.
good.
Okay, so once again, the French defense to the rescue. Opening that almost exclusively avoids all the traps the other coaches are teaching their students.
Mm.
You know, I've been watching some of those other streams. They're just coaching traps. And these traps are not going to be remembered. But just in case people do remember them, we're just avoiding it with our very solid French defense.
Yeah.
And so after c4, bishop c4, which is just a bad move because you push up your pawn and you immediately put pressure on both the bishop and the pawn in the center.
Yeah.
And here's a check. And while moving the pawn in between is good, I think what you did is also very good because you're trying to get rid of that light squared bishop, which is such a problem piece in the French
Mhm.
defense.
Yeah.
So, big fan of that move.
Yeah.
And he chose to move his pawn forward on the side of the board.
Yeah. I think I just traded because I remember thinking, or just I think let me I might
I
as well
don't
just do
want you
this
to
really.
remember what you did. I want you to
Yeah.
think about the situation on the board. And, this game was played a day ago. And
Yeah.
your improvement is so quick that, even today you might be better than what you were yesterday. So I want
Hmm.
today's Benji to think about what he would do in this situation.
Um. I mean, I was. I still think that taking it is pretty good because my white bishop isn't like it's not the best piece and his white bishop is I feel like it's a lot easier for him to get it out. But the only problem is that he then opens up his rook, which isn't very good. But I think that is still worth it.
Yeah, okay. Any other moves you would consider, or rather, what would you do after this trade?
Um, what did I do after trade? I'm not too sure. Maybe I'd probably still just play C5.
Okay, I'm unhappy once again,
Hmm.
but I know
Okay.
the remedy.
Okay. Is that mean the fix?
Yes.
Okay.
We're just gonna, the more you miss free stuff, the more puzzles I'm gonna force you to do. If that's not motivating, I don't know what is.
Okay. Well,
Let
I
me
missed
hear
something
about
free.
your checks and captures.
Checks and captures. Um.
Good cause. Thank you so much for the 5-month resub. I don't know
Oh,
why
I
the
have a free
hammer thing
pawn
is
here.
not working.
Hmm.
What are you gonna do?
Take the pawn.
Yeah. And honestly, I like taking the pawn here because you're absolutely right. Activating the opponent's rook, I'm not a big fan of that.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, you want to exchange off this bishop, but not at any cost in this
Yeah.
situation. But yeah,
Yeah.
there's a free pawn in the middle.
Hmm.
So instead, you went up with your knight.
Hmm.
And then he developed his knight. And then you took the pawn.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, you were aware that the pawn was under threat. So I'm still curious if this is one of your pawn nemesis situations.
Maybe. I can't remember
Yeah,
too well.
I can't really tell.
I thought I took the bishop, but apparently not. I guess I'm thinking about a different game. I'm not sure.
No, well, you took the bishop afterwards. So
Oh.
he went up with his knight to put pressure on your bishop and kind of put pressure on this weak spot. The pawn on f7 is often considered the weakest point in the position from the beginning,
Yeah.
because it's the only pawn only defended by a king. So
Yeah.
I know you know about that because I've seen a couple of bullet games where you try to score mate your opponents.
Yeah.
So you know about the problem of this pawn.
Mhm. Yeah.
But in this situation, then you took,
Yeah.
and now here you played knight takes f2,
Hmm.
and you're trying to be a
Oh.
genius.
Yeah. Yeah. I tried to be. Yeah, because I thought I was so smart with this, but then I
Yeah,
remember. I remember he did something. I can't remember what he did, but I was like,
but
I
this
just.
happens when you're trying to be so smart.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's better to just develop your pieces and get your king to safety.
Yeah.
Because you got a completely winning position with the extra pawn.
Yeah.
But I understand that, like, if you were a genius, then this would be great. But at the same time, if you make one miscalculation, then, it's going to bite you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, takes on f2. He took with his king. And now you tried for the double attack because you've been doing your tactics. and you thought
Yeah.
you were a genius, and then he went back with his knight.
Yeah.
And then it turns out you're not a genius after all.
Almost a genius.
Almost, yeah.
Close.
Gakaz, thank you so much for the
That
gift
sucked.
sub to Bunkinator. Yeah. So that was it's a bit of a letdown. As I was saying, the French defense is serving you so well. Uh, but in this case, for instance, you were just too clever for your own good.
Yeah.
Um, okay, so you came out with the bishop to give a check, but you got denied. While at the same time, White was just getting their pieces into play.
Mm.
So this is what we call developing with a tempo. So we're saying with a tempo, like by winning time. So
Yeah.
White wins time attacking your bishop, uh, while in the process making a move they wanted to make anyway,
Yeah.
because they want to get their pieces into play. Okay, so you've retreated your bishop, your queen came under attack, you moved the queen, the rook came into the center, you made a castle, that's good. You tried to attack his bishop with your pawn. Unfortunately, he moved his bishop. You're trying to point your queen against his king. Stuff is going on the other side. Yeah, I'll accept this one. I will say that in this instance, you had an opportunity to just get your pieces into the game.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
in general, when your pieces still haven't been developed, I would like to see you just get those pieces into the game.
Okay. Yeah.
And the guy just moved back where he came from.
Yeah.
Ooh, and then you go aggressive with the pawn. And he panicked because I think he realized that if he retreats the bishop, then you would go g4, and you have an attack on the knight, and the knight cannot move because your queen is
Mhm.
pointing down on White's king. Did you see this idea when you pushed the pawn?
I can't remember. I think I remember seeing that it was kind of stuck. Like it had to go there. I can't remember the thing about the knight. To be honest.
Okay. But anyway, I think your opponent saw it because he panicked with honestly the best move in the position. It's a brilliant move by him to prevent that plan we just showed for black.
Yeah.
You took it, and then he tried to be fancy. Uh,
Mm. Don't know what this was.
yeah, I don't really know. He's threatening your queen. I guess he
Yeah.
was
Kind of.
hoping for you to take the knight, and then he will take your queen.
I guess so.
But you saw through that, and not only did you avoid that trap, you also captured his bishop with a check, which means the knight is still in trouble. A big recovery.
Yeah.
Big recovery right there. Um, and when the king moved, you captured the knight while giving a check. And when the king moved again, you were very enthusiastic about checkmating this king.
Yeah.
And when you went c5, with the idea of c4, putting pressure on the king, you had missed that he had some stuff going on as well.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I remember this. Oh, this. I was so annoyed. I was so mad. I was waiting here for like a good like minute, just thinking about like what I could have done. Also, yeah. I was mad.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that that's just unfortunate, really.
Mm.
Uh, yeah, I don't think it's. You made a mistake. It happens.
Mm.
The weird thing is that the computer says you still could have been winning here. with
Really?
this a5 move, which is just unreal,
Hmm.
threatening bishop to b4 with checkmate. And even though you
Uh,
lose your queen, you have so many counter chances against this king.
yeah.
It's freaky. But anyway, um, yeah, no, I think your opponent, he had an idea you missed, and shit happens.
Yeah.
I'm not too concerned about it. I'm more concerned about the.
Oh, at this point, I was just like,
Yeah, no,
I, I was tilted.
yeah,
I
at
was like,
that point it doesn't matter. So I think, to me, this was about, firstly not taking the chances you're getting early on,
"Mm, yeah,
um, and then just being fancy. And it's not like I want to discourage you from being like thinking you're a chess genius.
yeah,
But maybe not yet.
yeah,
You know,
yeah. Mhm.
there might be some chess genius moves you haven't really caught up with just yet.
Mm.
And especially in this situation, because even if you just get your pieces out, you have such a good position.
Yeah.
So it's just so annoying to make a move that's either brilliant and winning or losing, as opposed to making a move that's just guaranteed winning.
Yeah.
Because being fancy like this, it feels great, but at the same time, it's about winning the game, right?
Mhm.
And with the extra pawn, you were already winning the game. You didn't really need to do anything fancy.
Yeah.
So maybe save those brilliancies for games where you're in trouble,
Okay.
and for games where you're already winning by just following the game plan, getting the bishop out, getting the king to safety.
Yeah.
Rather stick with that.
Okay. Yeah,
Okay,
I agree.
we'll move on. Let's see. Download. That's not what I want to do. You have been disconnected. That's not a good sign, is it?
Oh. Oh yeah. Says I'm the owner of the board now.
Well, Mr. Owner,
Mm. Should I go
my
back to live?
another login has been detected. That's bad.
That's not good.
That's not good at all.
Uh, might be because you opened up a new tab, maybe. I'll give
Yeah,
that some
but I needed to open up a new tab because the program was being dumb.
Oh.
It was messing with my head. Okay,
Hmm.
download. Okay, I got it fixed, I think.
Okay.
Analysis board not accessible. Okay, whatever. We'll just redo the invite.
Yeah, I'll go to live.
This command cannot be used. Ah, because now I need to make my own analysis board. Mm, mhm, mhm, mhm. Do, do. Oh, I invited the wrong benjyfishy. My bad.
Well, you write the original one.
Yeah.
Well, technically it's still me, but
You think it's you? You figured
yeah,
it out?
yeah, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's me. I just no idea what the login
That
is.
is so funny.
Yeah.
So I was telling Benji that there's this guy who took his username, and he's impersonating you. I said was like this way
Yeah.
old picture of Benji. Turns out it's not an impersonation. Wow, that's pretty funny. Okay, let's move to the first move,
Yep.
and this is a white game.
Mm.
Gakaz,
I think
thank you so much
I prefer
for.
black to white.
for gifting to Bola.
These are my openings.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So D4. So you're not going for your your scholars, mate. Only
No,
against
no.
Sate and your buddies.
Yeah.
Maximum embarrassment. But when you're playing your rapid games, you're sticking
Mm,
with the Queen's Gambit. I like it. I like the strats.
mm.
Okay, so you're controlling the center with your pawns. I misclicked. This is bad. Am I still here? Am I allowed to
Yeah.
make moves?
Yeah, I can see. I can see you do that.
Okay. Um. Okay, so he's playing an unorthodox opening. So I'm already here. I'm gonna warn you about something that's about to happen to your openings.
Okay.
Okay, from now on, you're not gonna be playing this pawn on the second move.
Oh.
Okay?
Okay. Okay.
From now on, you're gonna be playing your knight.
Mm. Okay.
And what this does is that after d5, if you go c4, Levy has been teaching people to go e5,
Hmm.
which is like creating maximum tension between all of
Yeah.
these pawns.
Yeah.
We're not going to do that.
Okay.
So from now on, whether they go d5, or in this game, d6, or if they go with a knight, what you're going to do is you're going to play knight to f3.
Okay.
Because this just avoids so many possible traps.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's it. That's the whole
Yeah.
story.
Okay.
And then you
I
can
would do
keep
that.
on doing, what you're used to doing.
Yeah.
But this knight first.
Okay.
Okay. So one of the reasons I'm mentioning it now is that this move would also prevent black from grabbing space in the center
Yeah.
with this e5 move.
Mm-hmm.
So c4, e5. You took that one.
Mm. I wasn't really sure what to do. I was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
So you traded queens early, which is a well-known bow test strat. Because when you trade queens early, you cannot blunder your queen, which
Very
is
true. Very true.
very advantageous
No,
for her.
I'll tell you why I did this. It's because it happened to be the game before this, I think, and I couldn't castle, and it annoyed me.
Oh,
Well, I'm
yeah?
pretty sure. Yeah, I didn't like how I couldn't castle.
Okay, so now you try to punish him when he couldn't castle.
Mm.
Okay, so knight comes out, bishop comes out, your other knight comes out, putting pressure on the
Oh.
pawn in the middle.
Yep.
Good play. Bishop defends. And then you defend the pawn that was attacked.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see that?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
And also putting a pawn in the middle.
Mhm.
Just making sure I'm not praising you for things you did by accident.
Yeah. No, so that's like part of the Queen's Gambit, that the white bishop,
Yeah.
like protecting the pawn. Or like, yeah.
Okay, so he's getting his pieces out, you're getting your pieces out, and all the coaches are proud.
Yeah.
He's moving his knight to put pressure on your pawn, and you noticed and played your pawn to create this nice little pawn chain. Guys defending each other.
Very nice.
Very nice. He went f5, very aggressive, and you took that one.
Yeah.
That's fine. And then you kept on developing your pieces. And you also had a threat because when he moved his knight out, you played c5, attacking
Oh,
both the knight and the bishop.
yeah, I remember this. I was pretty happy about this.
Yeah, no, so far this is a great game.
Mm.
If only you could play like this every time, you know?
Certainly.
We just got to work on that consistency.
Mhm.
Because this is really good. You developed all your pieces, and you're now making threats.
Yeah.
So he tried to make a counter threat, and you just moved your guy because you knew that this situation is still going on.
Mhm.
Takes, and he lost a bishop.
Yeah.
And now, after having won a bishop, you start making trades.
Mhm.
And while I agree with that in principle, I will say that when you made that trade, you opened up for his rook.
Oh, yeah.
So you're being pretty generous to him that like you're making trades but at a cost.
Mm.
So that you're letting his pieces become more powerful in exchange for making sure there's less pieces overall.
Yeah.
So personally, I think your bishop was much better than his knight. Because
Mhm.
your bishop can kind of like just stand in the middle and just attack both flanks
Yeah.
and exchange at will. But in principle, you're following the right strategy, making
Mhm.
trades when you're up.
But I should just do it when it's not when he doesn't gain anything from it.
Preferably, yeah.
Okay.
But it's fine. It's fine.
Mhm.
And then you play g4,
Oh,
which he can just capture that guy.
yeah, yeah. But I mean, yeah.
But I mean, then you get your rook, and then you start capturing stuff over at his place. So I mean, in principle, it's fine, but it feels unnecessary,
Mhm.
Because at this stage, what would be a normal move for white?
Castle.
Yeah, castle. Just get the king to safety, and then get your rooks into the middle. Chess
Mhm.
doesn't need to be complicated. You're just making it complicated.
Yeah.
Just protect your pieces, attack the opponent's pieces, and when you're up, just marshal the troops.
Yeah.
Okay, so g4 was very aggressive, but he backed up, so that's good. And when
Mm.
he backed up, you took the opportunity of capturing free stuff,
Yeah.
which is quite literally what I was just recommending. And he took your pawn, that's fine. And now you did a trade.
Yeah.
Because you're trading so that because you're up.
Yeah.
And once again, technically fine, but after that trade, you get this rook pointing down on your king and on your knight. You have this threat of the bishop coming in here next with a threat on your rook and on your knight. It feels a bit scary. And
Mm.
it feels
But
like this knight in the middle is a bit undefended.
I can still castle, and it.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you could also castle in this instance.
Mm. Yeah.
So I think you're being a bit overly aggressive with the trades when you're
Okay.
up. And trades are fine when you don't know what else to do. But here, you're still missing out on getting your rooks to the middle and making your castling.
Okay. Yeah.
So a bit overly aggressive on the trades.
Mhm.
But you did get to castle. And you did manage to get your pawn to defend your knight while at the same time attacking the bishop.
Yeah. That's tempo, right?
Yes, so now your attack. Well, tempo really only applies when you're doing something beneficial while attacking something else.
Yeah.
So in this case, this pawn would kind of be like it's a good move with a tempo because it does something useful defending your knight while attacking the opponent's bishop.
Yeah.
And then he moved it. You came in with your rook to give a check. He moved. You kept on following his king with your rook. I like it. He moved his bishop to attack your rook. You moved it away. And now rook g5 check.
Hmm.
And here you went into the corner,
Yeah.
which is scary with this rook and this bishop so close by.
Yeah. Uh, yeah. I was thinking about this for a bit, I think, and I wasn't. I don't know. I can't remember why I did it.
Well, looking at this position now, what would you do?
Um, I think it's because I didn't want to lose this pawn. Because if I move actually,
Good
yeah, if I
cause.
move
Thank you
here,
so much for the
then
gift
he can
subs
he
to
can get in
Bedevitan
here,
and to
and then
Slumka. Thank you
I
so
lose
much,
this
good
pawn.
cause. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So
So onto
could
the
you
current
try and
position is.
block him anyway?
Um. Oh yeah, that's a good move. That is a nice, and then it also pressures this.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I see that.
Okay.
That's
I'll let
actually
you in
better.
on an even better move.
Okay. Oh. Oh. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's a good one as well. Okay, so you went into the corner. He gave a check. It could have been a bit of a disaster here, not gonna lie. But when you came
I think
back with your king, at this
I
point you noticed that you could take the
yeah.
rook. So you got
Uh,
away from it.
yeah, I hate looking. I don't know. I feel so dumb just looking at it.
Yeah,
It's like,
I understand that, and I understand that's a bad feeling, but at the same time, it needs to be done because
yeah,
it stresses to you. What's important is that you understand what you need to become
hmm,
better, right?
yeah,
And I'm telling you, if you identify when you can capture free stuff, you're going to win so many games. And
yeah,
looking at games like this is just a really good reminder for you that you're still lacking in that department
yeah.
and you can always get better.
Hmm.
And
Very true.
it's never going to end because once you get good at capturing the pieces that you can just take outright, then you're going to have to get good at the double attacks.
Yeah,
And we're just going to up, as you get better and better, we're just going to up the level of the puzzles. And there's always going to be another nuance or another difficulty level that you're going to, have to conquer.
yeah,
Um, okay, but after this, you just dominated him. So there's not really much more to say.
yeah.
Um, yeah, actually, I think he resigned here.
Mm.
So that was honestly a very good game. I think you were a bit aggressive doing the exchanges, but at the same time, you got a good position from the opening. You made a fork, so you created a plan and you got the fork and you won the piece with that.
Hmm.
And then once you had won the piece, you had this strategy of just getting rid of as many pieces as possible.
Yeah,
So like strategy wise, that was pretty flawless, and yeah, I think you were a bit too aggressive in your exchanges, but it worked out, and it was just a good game, I think.
yeah. I like this game.
Okay, so this next one is really interesting.
Mm. I don't know if that's good or bad. That's probably bad, but
Yeah, well, it was bad in the end, but it was
okay.
plenty of chances.
Mm.
Okay, so I'm gonna have to do the game report to get the thing I want. After which, maybe I can do this. Can I copy this? No. Okay, I'm gonna have to do the save. No. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do the game report, and it's gonna kick me out on the other one,
Okay.
which is annoying.
Shall I just go back to live chess?
I don't know. It didn't kick me out yet.
Okay.
Download. Okay, maybe it's working. Maybe it was just being mean last time. Set position. Okay. Once again with the white pieces.
Okay.
D4, D5, and what are you gonna play in this position?
Knight F3.
Yes. Just make the move.
Okay.
Yeah. Good, but you went C4. That's also fine. He took it. Have you been having a lot of people taking your pawns like that?
No, like I would say like 20% of the time maybe.
Okay. So you went E4, very aggressive with your two pawns, but also opening up for your bishop. It's a pretty
Yeah.
good move. I like it. He went F5, which is kind of weird, but it's okay. Attacking your pawn in the middle, and you went with your knight just to defend that guy.
Yeah.
And then he went this move, which doesn't really do anything.
Yeah.
And you took the pawn.
Yeah.
And after 5 moves, you have a winning position.
Not bad.
Yeah, so I mean, your openings are so good. You're getting like big advantages out of the opening every single time. All the games we studied so far, you were better after 5, 6, 7 moves, even when
Yeah.
you had the black pieces.
Hmm.
So yeah, I think your openings are great.
Cool.
And I think it's important to tell you because I know I don't know. I feel like you're not really as confident about your openings.
I think it's just when people play stuff I don't know, it can be a bit weird sometimes, but
Yeah, but you know, you cannot know everything.
yeah.
At some point you're going to have to think for yourself anyway. And what you're really good at is using the opening principles to guide your plans early on.
Yeah.
And what are the opening principles?
Getting pieces in the center, um, getting and developing your pieces and castling.
Okay, almost. First you said,
Getting your piece in the center.
yeah. And that's supposed to be your pawns.
Yeah.
So pawns in the center, pieces out, and then castle.
Okay. Yeah,
And
that's pretty
and
much what I
and
meant.
you're really good at that. Because here
Yeah.
you already on move 3, you're dominating the middle with the pawns.
Yeah.
And then you're getting your pieces out. You're not getting distracted, you know, with
Mhm.
this stuff. You're just getting your pieces out. And when he took, you took back. He developed his knight. You exchanged. That's fine. He took with that pawn, which is kind of strange. Because now you have this option of giving a nasty little check on the king. Which would force his king to move, so then he couldn't castle.
Yeah.
But that's okay. Because instead you're moving your knight out, which is fine. You're just getting ready to castle.
Yeah. I'm not sure why I don't know.
Okay, given what you know now, where would you put that knight?
The thing is, I think I did. I mean, I didn't want to block this pawn, right? That's why I didn't want to do it. Because, but I don't know why I didn't want to block the pawn. For maybe like I don't know here. Oh wait, here.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
Hmm.
In general, this knight, especially when you're white, always goes to this square.
Okay.
Um, and like you said, you don't want to block your pawn, but you couldn't really understand why you had that thought.
Mm. Yeah.
So the my comment here would be this knight does not belong on the edge of the board.
Yeah.
It belongs towards the middle.
Yeah. Pretty sure I
Uh,
did that after that. I'm pretty sure I made it. Oh, then he did that.
yeah,
Hmm.
because
Okay.
maybe also you wanted to go to this square.
Yeah. I didn't want to leave it on the edge for sure because I never do that normally. I
Yeah.
normally put it. So.
But now he pushed in the middle, and here you took that pawn,
Yeah.
which is a big mistake because then he gets to trade the queens,
Mm.
and his king position was so insecure that trading queens is a massive accomplishment for him.
Mhm.
And I think this game in particular, I noticed that every time there's tension, like two pawns are next to each other, you're very eager to resolve that early on.
I think it might have been because I lost the game before or something. I don't know. I'm pretty sure this is the game that I was talking about before about trading queens
Yes.
and how I couldn't. Yeah. Yeah, and it annoyed me how I couldn't do it.
Yeah. But that's a good thing because
Mhm.
when it annoyed you that you couldn't move your king, number one, in the next game, you did the same thing to your opponent and
Yeah.
won a good game.
Mhm.
But in addition, it also means that you're going to avoid this situation again.
Yeah.
Because here, even though he's threatening against your pawn, sometimes you can just give up that pawn. But I understand this is a special circumstance. But here, it's like, yes, you lose a pawn, but you win a king.
Yeah.
And like, he's going to have to go try and escape. And then, well, in this instance, you can just win the queen.
Oh yeah.
Which is a bit of a special circumstance. But the point is that just because two pawns are up against each other doesn't mean you have to trade.
Mhm. Okay.
So also like bishop to defend would be nice. And
Yeah, I
also
think.
I would be remiss if I didn't also notice the fact that if you moved it towards the center, this wouldn't even be a problem. Because then,
Yeah.
you would already have that guy protected.
Mhm. I think yeah, I didn't want him. I mean, when I moved my knight to H3, I didn't, and then he put his pawn to E5. I just didn't want him to take this pawn, so I just did it instead. Because
Yeah,
then I would have
it
to wait
makes
for the
sense. It
capture.
makes sense. It's not like one of those mistakes where I'm upset,
Yeah.
because it makes sense.
Mhm.
As long as you're making sense, you're gonna win almost all your games.
Yeah.
But this one, I think, does not make sense.
Yeah. Yeah. I think. Yeah. I still want to block this pawn, but yeah,
Yeah,
I think. Yeah. I think. Yeah. I know
just
now.
worry about the pawns after you've gotten your pieces into the middle.
Mhm.
So like after you get your bishop out and your knight out and your king to safety, then we can start discussing what to do about the pawns.
Yeah.
Don't stress about the pawns before you get your pieces into play.
Okay.
Most of the time. Well, sometimes you need to be aggressive with your pawns to kind of create decent places for your pieces.
Mhm.
But I think more often than not, it's just get the pieces out.
Yep.
Okay, so there was a queen trade, and then he captured in the middle. And here is another move, which I find inexplicable, and that is this pawn to f4.
Mm.
And what I'm wondering is, why are you so eager to make exchanges?
Um.
Oh, wait, you wanted him to take this one so that you can get your knight.
Yeah, yeah, because I didn't like my knight being on
Oh,
the edge.
yeah. So, no, this is just a follow mistake, you know? You put your
Okay.
knight on a bad square and you wanted it to go here.
Yeah, yeah, and then he pushed the pawn to e5 before,
Yeah.
and that's why I traded, and then
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Okay, it makes perfect sense. Okay,
Mm.
so you could have gone with your rook and just taken this guy because you're putting down against his king.
Yeah.
But I now I understand why you went f4. It makes sense.
Mm. Okay.
Okay. So
Yeah,
you're
like,
running away with your king because he
I was
was
just
giving
bullying
lots
my
of
king.
checks. Yeah, but it's fine. Your king got out.
Yeah.
He's attacking your bishop. You got the bishop away. There was a trade. The knight came in. He
Ooh.
defended
Oh.
against this knight
Yeah.
c7 move.
Yeah, I saw that. I remember seeing that, but
Yeah, that was
yeah.
a bit annoying. But you still got your pieces out. Good job. He made a trade, but that's fine. You can make that trade.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was a really interesting game in terms of, it was equal on material basically throughout.
Yeah.
But here you came in with your rook, with a check on the king. Rook moves, king moves, rook gives another check. And his king is in some serious trouble.
Yeah.
King has to move. A3. Yeah, it's kind of like a nothing move.
Yeah, I didn't really know what to do, to be
Yeah.
honest.
So here you could have played rook c1 because you're attacking the bishop, and when the
Mm.
bishop moves, you can take the pawn.
Yeah. Good move.
Um, but yeah, it's not like a big mistake.
Mhm.
Okay, so he's attacking your bishop, but you moved the bishop, so you're fine. There was a trade. He came in for a check. You moved your king. He moved his pawn. And here, this move. So yeah, so
Mm.
this is what I noticed about this move. On two circumstances, you were very eager to make trades.
Yeah.
And notice how this pawn is kind of, he wants to get rid of that guy. Because that pawn
Yeah.
is standing in the way of his rook.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah.
So this b3 move makes no sense to me.
Yeah, I'm not too sure either. I'm not too sure either.
Because you're just actively letting his rook get into a better position.
Yeah.
Would be really helpful if you could explain this move.
I don't know. Yeah, I can't remember.
Okay. Well, I think in general you're being too eager to make pawn trades.
Mm.
And in this position in particular, you could go with your rook and give a check on the king.
Oh. Yeah.
And when his king goes to defend the rook, you can make this check.
Mm.
And then you have these rooks working together, forcing his king up so that
Yeah, I
you
can
can take
take.
his rook for free.
I can't believe I missed that. Ugh.
So yeah, there's yeah, I'm having really big trouble explaining this move
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
because we want your instincts anyway to be like, I can give a check.
Yeah.
So I think maybe we just didn't. I mean, we're still grinding the puzzles,
Yeah.
and it's a part of the process.
Mhm.
And we're gonna continue grinding the puzzles.
Yeah.
And we're gonna do. I think we're gonna do more like checks and captures, kind of prompting
Okay.
to kind of make sure you always think about your checks and your captures.
Mhm. Okay.
Um. Okay. So he started giving checks on your king, which was kind of annoying.
Yeah.
And now your king is kind of a bit unsafe.
Mm.
And he's moving around, attacking your pawns as many times as he can.
Yeah, I don't really know what I should do here.
Yeah. Because now you're kind of in trouble because all his rooks got into the game. And I hate to, be a one trick kind of pony or like
Yeah.
get obsessed about one thing. But the
Yeah.
reason his rook got into the game is that, he got a very nice opportunity here to get rid of
Yeah.
one of the pawns
Hmm.
standing in the way. And yeah, then he just started capturing your stuff. And you gave some checks, but you didn't really have anything coherent.
Yeah, I couldn't really. I don't know.
Yeah, and then this was basically the difference in this game. You played better than him in the opening, in the middle, basically throughout. But when he was presented with an opportunity, he took it first try.
Mm.
Whereas you had a great position for a very long time without really capitalizing on it.
Yeah.
And like once this is like the first moment in the game where he was better, and then he just finds this checkmate in two moves.
Yeah. I didn't think I'd checkmate.
Yeah, it's very surprising, but two rooks can be devastating,
Mm.
and you kind of had that opportunity to use your two rooks against his king, and when you didn't take it, he used his two rooks on your king instead.
Yeah.
Okay, but I think it's been I think it's been some interesting games. I think your openings are so good,
Yeah.
so good. You're getting advantages every single time. I think you still need to be working on your puzzles, not
Mhm.
only your double attacks, although we're getting more into that level where double attacks are going to be important.
Yeah.
I think it's also like there have been some moments here where just taking stuff would be immediately decisive.
Mhm.
I'm thinking about your French opening when you could have taken that pawn.
Yeah.
And also, well, I guess you did take the rook eventually in that good game you played where you just won a piece and then exchanged everything.
Yeah.
Um, but some weaknesses in terms of identifying when you can take free stuff.
Mhm.
Um, but other than that, I think these games were pretty good. And people in chat have been asking what your rating is. And Benji's rating is 900,
Yeah.
and these opponents are 900 as well. And you're holding your own and then some.
Yeah. I think I'll improve pretty quickly, I think.
I think so too. Um so yeah, I think that's gonna be it for today.
Okay. Oof. Good session. Good session there. This helped a
Yeah.
lot.
No, but these game reviews are like mentally draining
Mm.
because
I think
it
yeah, it's
makes
really
you
good.
very aware of all the mistakes you make.
Yeah.
So it's like a very negative session kind of.
Yeah. Oh, I did some things right, so
No, no, you
I'll say
you
that. Yeah.
definitely did some things right, but if you're anything like me, you're not going to give too much attention to what you did right because you have high
Yeah.
expectations of yourself and instead you're going to think about everything you did wrong.
Yeah.
Um and that's normal. That's why you're the best in the world at what you do because you have high
Yeah.
standards of yours like you expect the best of yourself.
Mhm.
Um, but it's important to kind of just appreciate that mistakes happen. You're still learning, and that you use the mistakes not to uh, churn or kind of get down on yourself,
Hmm.
but instead use it as motivation to kind of tell yourself, I know what I need to do to be better. I just need to, uh, yeah. Well,
Put
you
the
know
time
what
into
I'm
it.
about to say.
Yeah. Just
The puzzles.
yeah.
Just get
Yeah.
them puzzles.
Yeah. I do them. I do them quite a lot. I
Yeah,
just do them
no,
like
no, I
every
know.
time.
I know. I'm not
Mm.
saying you're not doing them. I'm just saying you can never get enough.
Yeah.
And I do want variety, right? So we're trying
Yeah.
to do something different every day.
Yeah.
So it's not like we're gonna sit here and do puzzles every single time.
Hmm.
But for the moment, puzzles are still gonna be a huge part of the key to improvement.
Yeah. For sure.
If the tactics improve, I think he will be at least 11 or 1200, says Martin, and I think so too. Because your openings are great.
Yeah. Yeah. I just missed some easy stuff that I should be getting probably, but
Yeah, but it's easier to improve on the easy stuff than the hard stuff.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. It's been good. Thank you very much.
see ya.
Yeah. See you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, that was Mr. Benjy coming in with another session because he's a grinder. And, well, as I guess some of you have already understood, he is competing in the Pogchamps chess tournament with other famous streamers, including XQC, Mr. Beast, Pokimane, and others. And he's gonna win it. I'm hoping, because he's putting in a lot of effort.